Hi everyone. Today is lecture number 8, I think. I lost track, but I think it's 8 of our cow game. And today we'll be doing some finishing touches before we go on to the platforms. So one thing that we'll do is the chest spawn, which is going to be a class. It's going to be semi-long and not very complicated at all. After that, what we'll do is we will create a difficulty class, which is going to be very, very short, and we'll probably extend it further on as we do the platforms. And finally, we will go into the game class, which now has a lot of test methods and so on. So we'll have to order that a bit, add the new difficulties, the chests, and so on, to make the game, I wouldn't say finished, but near completion. So yeah, and then next time we'll do the platforms, and the one lecture after that we'll do balancing everything as per your requests. So right, so let's get started. I would go into game objects, I think, and I will create a class which is going to be called chest. And similarly to the butchers and other items that we have, we will need an array to keep track of the number of chests that we spawn. So yeah, so let's start from here. Module cow versus butcher, and we are gonna do export class chest. It's gonna have a game, phaser.game, and it's gonna have a chest which is phaser.sprite. And let me add it to index.html. So where are my game objects? Right here. So I'll add chest.js. Right, let's get back here. And we don't have a phaser, so I'll go and grab them up here. It's the first one. So chest. Okay, the first thing that we have is a constructor game phaser.game. I don't know, is there a problem with these things here? Yeah, it's fixed now. Right, okay, so this dot game equals game. That's how we will initialize them. And we are not going to need anything else, so we are going to spawn them kind of semi-randomly around the map, and they're going to move towards the cow. So they spawn somewhere around this area, and they go down at a random speed, I think. And sometimes you can just sit, and you are going to take the chest, or you have to jump in order to take it. Of course, if you want to, we can change that in the last lecture, but yeah, okay, so let's do that. So var x equals rng of 900 to 1280, and maybe add math.apps to this as well. Okay, so this will be where we spawn our chest. So it's between 900 and 1280, which is at the top right corner, so somewhere around here we are gonna spawn the chest. Alright, so this dot chest equals this dot game dot add sprite x0 chests, and let me have a quick look whether I have them in the preloader. It was one of the last things that I added. So this is chest, and it's a sprite sheet, so similar to the cow and the butcher and so on. We just combined it into a single file, so that should be in graphics, game, chests, and this is what we get. So it's so each chest has an animation as well. It's very, very simple. You wouldn't notice it from here, as the frames look pretty much the same, but yeah. Okay, so let's get back into chest. And let's have this dot chest dot anchor dot set. It's going to be 0.5, 0.5. Maybe we want to add physics as well. So this dot game dot physics dot enable this dot chest. And of course, this every other item that we have that has physics, we also want to set the body. So this dot chest dot body dot set size and 4040, and then we have 060. So I will remind you. So if you have the chest, which is like this, the anchor would normally be at the top left corner. So we change it here to 0.5, and then we want to have the body to be somewhere. I think it was somewhere around here. It was a square. So this is what this thing does. We have to do an offset by y, I think, because there is a difference between the anchor here and here. I'm not sure. Again, it was just fiddling around with values, but I managed to make it work, so I think it's fine. If you don't think it's fine, we can change that later on as well. So this dot chest dot body dot gravity dot y equals -1000. So it's gonna move. It's gonna move from top to bottom. And what else? This dot chest dot body dot mass equals 0, so that when it collides with the cow, it doesn't do anything weird. Yeah, just chest. Okay. What else do we have? So I have to add the animations now, which you know how it's done. This dot chest equals dot animations. Yeah, chest dot animations dot add, and in here we have ammo. The frames are 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then we have frames are 30. This dot chest dot animations dot add. The next one is going to be GMO. So I have called ammo for the gun, which was it here? No, this is the grenade. But yeah, you see how it looks like. It's nothing that spectacularly different. Okay, and the GMO has frames, I would say 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and that's that. Up to 30. I'll copy this line now because I think it's going to make it slightly easier. Then we have the grenade, and everywhere where I have ones I should change to zeros. To twos. So 26, 27, 28, 29. Alright, what else do we need? So now I would like to have, I am going to break one of the rules of the quality code, and in fact this class is going to deal with all of the chests. So by a rule, the class shouldn't know anything about its inheritors, but in this case I decided to keep it simple and not make the game class too big. I decided to actually do it here. So we would like to have a random animation, which is going to be just math.random. Okay, and this is going to determine what kind of chest are we going to spawn. So in order to do that, let's have a couple of ifs. So if random animation is less than 0.49, let's spawn a grenade. Or if you want to, we can balance that later on. So in roughly half of the times we are going to spawn a grenade. So this dot chest dot animation dot play, and we will say grenade null true. So the way this class works is like all chests in one, if you want to think of it this way, because we keep all of the animations here, and we are just gonna decide which one to play by this RNG. All right, else if we have else if random animation is bigger than or equal to 0.49, and random animation is less than or equal to 0.9. Okay, in this case we would like to spawn ammo, so this dot chest dot animations dot play, and let's have ammo null true. Is there a mistake that I made here? No? No, I think it's fine. Alright, so else if or just, else, because we have 3 of them. If someone wants to add more, then they just need to do another else if here. So else, I'm going to say this dot chess dot animations dot play, and in here we have GMO null true chest. Okay. Right, I think that's pretty much it. Now we have to do the update method here. So update, this is going to be mainly if we overlap with the cow, then we want something to happen. And normally this something would mean that I would have to go into the button and increase the ammo of each button, because if you remember from one of the previous times, each button keeps track of its own ammo. So to do this we will need a cow of type cow, grenade button of type item button, what else do we have, shotgun button of type item button, and I didn't write it here, item button. And we are gonna need also the GMO button. Alright, so let's do that. So this.game.physics, let me add those actually. So I need a reference to the cow, and I need a reference to the item button, and I think that'll be fine. Okay, so this.game.physics.arcade.overlap, this.chest dot yeah, we want to overlap the chest and the cow, so it's going to be cow.states, and then we have the callback. So this way I assume that I want to add a context, which is this, and let's see what happens here. Okay, now what is it that we want to check? We want to make a case for each animation that we have. So if this.chess.animations.current animation.name equals ammo, then there are a couple of things that we want to do. Actually, there is a problem with this, so I'll just remove it. I think the overlap works a bit differently. Alright, so the first thing is ammo, so shotgun button dot pickup item, which is a method that we wrote a couple of lectures ago. So this method, what it does is, handles whether the button should be black and white, whether it should be in color, and increases the ammo and changes the text. So I decided to increase by 8 the shotgun, but I don't know, we'll see. Okay, so this.chess.body.set_size 0, this.chess.alpha equals 0, and this.chest.destroy. It's very weird that I destroy it here. Actually, I don't think I want to do that. Sorry? Yeah, I was thinking that it's better to do it as, we have a lot of similar things in this game and they're spawned in a very similar way, but I was thinking also that we should probably destroy it outside of the class by going through every single item of... Sorry? The body? The body and alpha. Okay, so how am I gonna know if I don't set at least this? How am I gonna know that that I should destroy the chest? Okay, I'll do that. Right, so the suggestion is to have to actually move these three things outside of the if statements, which is absolutely true. Yeah, I'll I'll do that. So else if, let's write the other cases and then I'll fix this. This dot chess dot animations dot current animation dot name. If it is grenade, then we want to have grenade button dot pickup item, and I was thinking over number 3, and finally else. Should I have a case here? It's one of the 3, so I think it's fine. Okay, so else GMO button dot pickup item is 1. Okay, I think that is all, and then finally at the end maybe we can do this. I think after the else's. I don't think we should destroy it here though, because it's still gonna be in the array, right? Because even if we destroy it, we are still gonna have a reference of that object in the array. So I would say that we use this alpha 0, and inside the update where we update all of the chess that we have, just if it is if the alpha is 0, just to remove it with splice, and then destroy the sprite as well. Okay, what else? There is one more thing that we need to do, so let me just check whether this bracket is this one. Yeah. And then finally we wanna we don't have an array to push it in. That's gonna happen in a game, but what we want to do is actually move it left, because this is one thing that we don't do. So this is our map. It spawns here, and we want to also move it left. So if this dot chest dot body and this dot chest in my notes I have a chest, and this is why I get confused. So it's different from null. Then we want to say this dot chest dot body dot velocity dot x equals minus 800. So that there was a problem, and this is why I have this check. I was getting an error because upon destroying the chest, the update was called once again, and we didn't have a body, so it couldn't move, and I got an error, something of undefined, because we were destroying it inside here. Maybe that'll be fixed, and I can just say at the beginning here of the method I can do it here. I can also check the alpha, yes, that is fine as well, but I'll leave it as is. It's not a problem to check whether we have a body at all inside the in the chest. Alright, next up we have difficulty, so I'll add that here. It's gonna be a very simple class. It's more like instead of having arrays with values for each difficulty, I decided to have it as a simple class, which would be very easy to extend once we have more values in it. So let me add it into the index.html. So here I want to say difficulty.js. So where are we? Here. Module cow versus butcher. Export class difficulty. And as I said, it's going to be really simple. First, each difficulty is gonna have an index like 0, 1, 2, depending on how hard it is. So index is gonna be a number. Then we have RNG chest low, which is a number. RNG chest high, which is also a number. RNG butch low, which is a number. RNG butch high, which is also a number. And butch speed. So if you remember the way we normally spawn items in this game, let me go into, let's say, level 2, where we spawn the rocks. So these are these two values. So how many seconds do we need before spawning a new object? So this is the low value and this is the high value. So both for the chests and the butchers, we'll use pretty much the same method here. Just track down how much time has passed and pick a random number of seconds for the next item to spawn. And this is what is kept in this class difficulty. So constructor index RNG chest low, RNG chest high, RNG butch low, RNG butch high, butch speed. Controlled F to tidy it up a bit, and then we have this dot index equals index. Actually, let me copy all of these. Is that gonna be easier? I don't know. So let me copy all of these, put them here, and then Control Shift. No, so I have to use the mouse. This dot. Remove that. Equals, and then can I paste it again? I can't. So yeah, anyways, I'll just write that down. Index RNG chest low, RNG chest high. This has to be lowercase. RNG chest high, RNG butch low, RNG butch high, and butch speed. Alright. RNG chest, capital letter. Okay, everything everything is fine. Let's move on to the game, and there aren't that many things that we need to fix and that we have to add, but I want to really tidy up the code a bit inside here. So let's start from the very top and let's add the new things that we have. So first we have current difficulty, which will be of type difficulty. Probably I have to change that. So generate reference path, difficulties, array of difficulty. So we want to keep track, of all of the ones that we've added, and we want to be able to change quickly between difficulties. And so as soon as I want to change a value or change difficulty, this will be done very, very easily. So let's go into level 2. Let's say that here, instead of 1 and 3 as hard-coded values, we had something like current difficulty dot RNG butch low and RNG butch high. And then as soon as you change the difficulty, the numbers are gonna change as well, and you can spawn the butchers and the chests at your preferred time interval. So this is what we'll do. Okay, and then there is a boolean that I'm using, so should change difficulty. I don't remember where, but I'm sure that it comes handy. So boolean. Okay, we have current level, level 1, level 2. Everything is fine here. At the very bottom, I would like to create first up a chest list. So chest, I don't know, let's call them chest items. which is going to be an array of chest, and probably I don't have chest in this class, so I'll have to generate the reference part as well. Okay, and then random chest spawn time, which is going to be a number, and random butcher spawn time, which is also going to be a number. So again, this is very similar. We've done it many times before. These are the values that keep track of the current game time, and then after some time has passed, then we reset it with a new value by adding some seconds to it. In this case, between 3 and 7 inclusive. So let's get back to game. What happened to the chest? It's there. Okay, so let's now go into the create, and let's clean many things from here. So I don't need this. We are not going to test anything anymore, so that I can delete that as well. We can delete that as well. And okay, we're not gonna need that as well. So this is also a test. If you can see, we were testing the animations of the cow, and currently we are creating butchers this way every 4 seconds, and we want to have something more random. So I'll delete that as well, and we are left with this nice and small create method. Okay, so let's add a couple of things. This dot difficulties is an empty array, which is something that we have to add. This dot difficulties dot push. Then I want to say new difficulty with some values. So 5, 10, 23, 10, 300 is what I've added. So this was RNG chest low, RNG chest high. This is butch low, butch high, and no, actually I'm doing something wrong. Okay, so the first one is index. Interestingly, why I have it as 5, that should be just 0. Okay, so index, then we have RNG chest low, RNG chest high, we have butch low, butch high, and we have the butch speed, which is going to be different for the different cases. And of course, again, all of these values we can change whenever we want later on. So let me copy that and put in some values here. So this is 1, this is 2, 5, 4, then 15, 10. Okay, so as the game gets harder, we would like to spawn more chests, which means that we should decrease both the RNG low and RNG high, so that we know that. So in here it's at least 10 seconds to spawn a chest, and here it's at least 5, which is a lot less, which means that we are gonna get more chests. Okay, for the butcher, we would like to spawn him more, so between something like 2 and 6 maybe, and then after that we want to spawn as many as possible, so something like between 0 and 5 is gonna do. And the speed, I added just 300, 400 and 500. Again, we can make him faster or slower depending on what we want to have. Okay, so this dot current difficulty equals this dot difficulties of 0. Okay, and when we want to change it, we just say difficulties of 1 or difficulties of 2, and that'll be quite easy to do. This dot should change difficulty equals false. And alright, so what else do we have here? Let's order that up a bit if it's not yet. So we have level 1, level 2, we have current level. Since this is relating to the difficulty, I will leave it like that. The collections, the killer collection, I'm gonna leave close to the levels as well, because if you remember, it's in the same folder even. So in here, so it's like a part of each level, and because this is true, we would like to keep it there as well. Alright, so I have butcher list, thrown items, pickup items, and in here I think it will be a good idea to just have this dot chest items equals empty array, which I don't think I've added, right? I haven't added this. Alright, and then maybe somewhere at the bottom, maybe before we deal with the groups, or maybe somewhere around here, we want to say, actually let's do it here, this dot random chess spawn time equals this dot game dot time dot now, maybe plus a couple of seconds, so phaser dot timer dot second times 3, so that they don't spawn as soon as we start the game. Okay, so this dot, where is the butcher list? It's here. So let's do this dot butcher random butcher spawn time equals this dot game dot time dot now plus phaser dot timer dot second times how much? 0. So without that, okay, fine. We are gonna have a butcher as soon as we start the game, which is gonna be kind of terrifying. You just start the game and there is a guy coming at you. But you know, anyways, so top group is here, I think, or maybe at the bottom where we actually add something to the group. Do I have something relating to the group? No, I don't. So this is gonna be fine. Let's copy the cow to be on top of everything else. So here, have a good order. This is relating to groups as well, and I think that's that in here. Should we put the chests in a group also? Yes, but that's gonna happen as soon as we spawn them, right? We don't have them, so which group do you think, as soon as you look at the code now, which group do you think will be suitable for the chest? Anyone? Which group? The top group, yeah, of course, because you know it's a part of each level. So this group here, we put everything that has to be on top. The other option would be the killer collection group, if we have one. Killer group, that's also an option, because you know it holds the souls and emitters and so on, so it's always on top as well. But I think for the top group, it'll be fine to add them there. Alright, so we have now this if here. So if the game is not over, then we want to do something in here. And let me add a quick else, which is it here at all? No, it's not. It's down here, so we'll add else. And what the else is gonna do is gonna, you know, do something with the cow as soon as it dies. Pretty much. Nothing that complicated. Alright, I suggest we have a short break before we get into this, and I can have a look at my notes instead of interrupting. So let's do that, and there are like 2 methods that we have to write, and we'll be pretty much done. Two or three methods tops, I think, and we'll be done. So yeah. Okay, so let's order things up a bit. So inside here, current level update is fine. This is fine. Game physics is fine. Let's leave a new line here. Cow update is fine. Butcher list is fine. These are fine. So let's move this one, which is for the game over, inside here. And right, I think there was a separate method for that. I don't know. No, I think that was that. So yeah, in here we have to create a couple of, actually we have to update a couple of more things. So where is the best place to do that? I think here. So here, this dot spawn chests, this dot spawn butchers, and maybe update difficulties should be here. And these are the only methods, I think, along with a game over method that we'll have to create. Right, so there anything else that I need to add? Yes, so where should I do that? Maybe here. This dot chest items dot for each chest, we want to say chest dot update of this dot cow, this dot grenade button, this dot shotgun button, and this dot gmail button. And that's pretty much it. Okay, so let's deal with these two first. So they're going to be pretty similar. Spawn chests, and let me find them in my code. Okay, so if this dot random chest spawn time less than this dot game dot time dot now. Actually, this thing repeats too much in the code, and I would like to think of a way to make it a bit more abstract, but I am not sure now how to do that. But you know, this thing we have had at least 5 times within the project, so I'm sure there will be a good way to actually fix this. Maybe have a method randomly generate stuff where inside you would give the array, what item to spawn, this value here, the RNG's top and bottom, and so on. And I think this would be fine, but I don't know. Right now this is how we do it. So we have random chest spawn time equals this dot game dot time, where is that, dot now, plus math dot apps RNG. And as we said, we are not gonna have, you know, fixed values here. We are gonna have the current this dot current difficulty dot RNG chest low, comma this dot current difficulty dot RNG chest high times 1000, so that this is a second now. Alright, and we actually need to spawn it, so here we just reset the time. So we have to say var chest equals new chest this dot game, this dot top group dot add chest dot chests. I'm sorry, just chest dot chest, I guess. So this was the sprite. I know that that's a repetition, it doesn't look fine, but this is just the sprite of our current chest. And then we have this dot chest list dot push, sorry, chest items dot push, and inside here we want to have chest. Okay, then we have spawn butchers, which is going to be a very similar method. If this dot random butcher spawn time less than this dot game dot time dot now, this dot random butcher spawn time equals this.game.time.now plus math.apps of rng. Inside here, this.current difficulty dot butch rng butch low, comma this.current difficulty dot rng butch high. Control F. Sorry? Times 1,000. Yeah. All right, and then we have, what is it that we have? Var butch equals new butcher this.game, and what else do we need? Velocity, which we have also in our difficulty class, this one. So I have to say this.current difficulty dot butch speed. All right, and then do the same thing. This dot, actually we add him to the killer group, so killer collection dot killer group dot add child at sample butch dot state index 6. This dot killer collection dot killer group dot add child at sample butch dot states 2, 6. Sorry? Yeah, this is just butch, sorry. Just butch. Okay, and finally we want to push him to the list. So this dot butcher list dot push butch. Okay. Right, I just want to check real quick whether site here, whether we actually remove him from the game. Yeah, we have this method. Do you think we should just add the same thing to the chests? Because otherwise in the game I have to have another method which checks whether the alpha is 0 and whether we have to remove him from the array. What do you say? Then so yeah, the suggestion is to put everything inside this method. So it's like here we want to have an if the alpha of the chest inside the chest items is 0, then we want to remove it, which is going to be bad because this method is called just spawn chests. Right, so yeah, let's go into chest and actually add this, maybe inside the update. So here we check for collisions, which means that in here I have to add also, what do I need to add? The chest list, which is array of chests. Okay, and inside here, instead of doing all of that, we just want to say chest list dot splice chest list dot index of this, I think, and then comma 1. Then we want to say this dot destroy, which I don't think I can do here. Should it be this dot chest dot destroy? Probably, yeah. Yeah, this dot chest. Yeah, that's right. This dot chest dot destroy, and I think that will be fine now. Okay, so let's go back into game and let's go up here. Chest dot update, and we wanna give this dot chest items. Why do I keep calling it chest list? It's unbelievable. So chest items, chest items, just items. All right, let's get back in here and let's finish our butcher. Actually, we've done that. So finally, let's update the difficulty. So the way I was doing that is whenever we make a couple of kills, then we change the difficulty and we change the level as well. So let's do that. Update difficulties, and it's not gonna be that complicated even. So if this dot killer collection, if you remember, we are keeping the kills. Did we do the kills last time? I don't remember. So at the bottom left here, a text which says kills. We didn't. Right, that's gonna be kind of a problem. How should I do that? Let me write the method and then I'll look for the code, and then we'll implement that as well. So if this dot killer collection dot score equals 10 and this dot should change difficulty. The reason why we have this boolean is so that we don't change it multiple times during the same score. So let's say that we kill a butcher and we actually get to 10 kills. We don't want to change it many times because the score is gonna remain at 10 for until the next one comes, and it's gonna change all the time. So inside here, this dot should change difficulty equals false, and actually at the top here, when I initialized it to be false, it should be true. Did you get what's going on? So we start with can we change it? Well, yes. If you get 10 kills, then yes. Then once we get to 10 kills, then we should change that to false and do whatever it is that we have to do, and that will be this dot trigger level of 1. And this one is gonna be how to change the current difficulty to a new one. So far we don't have this in this class, but I'll add it in a second as well. Okay, so and we have to do some else's as well. So else if, or more like just if. Let's do else if. This dot killer collection dot score equals 20, and this dot should change difficulty. What is it that we have? This dot trigger level 2, and another else if. This dot killer collection. Right, so we only have 2 difficulties right now. But please note that I don't have any place where I actually change this back to true. So let's say that we have 10 kills now. This is false, and even if we get to 20, it's still not gonna change the level, and this is because we have to reset it maybe when we have 11 kills or 21 kills and so on. So in this case, if this should be just an if this dot killer collection dot score is 11, or this dot killer collection dot score equals 21, then we want to say this dot should change difficulty equals true. Alright, so that was pretty much it. Of course I need to go and implement this as well, but that's going to happen in a bit. First I would like to go to the trigger level and add this one, which is just gonna change the difficulties from 1 to the next one. So let's go in here and let's say difficulty index number, and the first thing that we need to do, difficulty index, the first thing that we need to do, this dot current difficulty equals this dot difficulties of difficulty index. And is there anything else that we need to do here? There is actually. So imagine that, so we just trigger levels, right? So as soon as we trigger one, we better make sure that every single butcher that we have has been destroyed. Otherwise that's gonna cause a problem next time when we trigger the level. We can have a butcher that comes at us from the previous change that we didn't know about, because we only have 2 levels, and we are going to start with 1, then we are going to have 2, then we are going to go back at 1, you know, with a different difficulty, but it's still going to be the same level. So we should definitely here delete all of the butchers that we have. So it's going to be this dot butcher list dot for each butch, and inside here this dot killer collection dot killer group dot remove butch, and also this dot butcher list dot splice, this dot butcher list. Actually, why do I even do that? I don't need to do that at all. So inside here we just say this dot butcher list equals empty array, and that's gonna be fine, I think. Of course we have to say in here butch dot destroy, or was it butch dot states dot destroy or something like that? Butch dot states dot destroy, butch dot states 2 dot destroy, and in this case we are not gonna need this line of code, because as soon as you destroy the sprites, they're all automatically removed from the group, so I don't need this at all. Alright, and I think that is that. I need to find the code for the score, because there was something there that was a bit tricky, so give me a second and I'll get back. Okay, so what we want to add is a score, which is going to track the number of kills, and that's going to be placed at the bottom left corner, right down here. I thought that was a good place. If you want to, we can change that. Since we are talking about kills, this is going to be in the killer collection class. Let me zoom that in a bit. So we are going to need 2 things. We are going to need a score, which is a number. We are going to need also kills text, which is phaser.text. And let's have a look. So inside create, what we should do is add it maybe somewhere around here is fine, at the very end. So let's start with this dot score equals 0. Let's do var kills text style, very similar to what we've done with the previous text. So this thing is fill, and that is 4E0A09 with a hashtag. This is the color, and let's add the text. So this dot kills text equals this dot game dot add dot text at 100, this dot game dot height times 0.85. What else? There is a text which is going to be kills space plus this dot score dot toString, and I think finally we had to give the style. So this is kills text style. Okay, what else do we have? So now we have to give some properties. So this dot kills text dot font equals 28 days later. Also we have to give the font size, font weight, and add it to the group. So this dot kills text dot font size equals 90. This dot kills text dot font weight equals normal. And after that, this dot killer group dot add is gonna be this dot kills text. Alright, I would like to have a method as well, which is gonna just update the text. So let's say that we go to the butcher now, or the cow, and we track every single kill, you know, either with a grenade, with a Gmail, with a shotgun, or whatever. We want to have a quick method to update the kills. So this is gonna be simply update kills text, and it's pretty simple. This dot score plus plus, and we have to say this dot kills text dot text equals kills plus this dot score dot to string. All right, and what we have to do now is go to the butcher class, which is right here, and we have to track every single kill that we do. So I don't remember where that was, but let's see. So we have death by item. So if it's a grenade, if it's knife, if it's shotgun, maybe that's a good place to start. So killer collection, I don't have killer collection here. Maybe it's somewhere else that we need to do it. Butcher item collision. So this dot game physics overlap, this dot death by item key. So the first place I would go is here. Killer collection dot update kills text. This is the first place, but remember that we also had other ways of killing the butcher. So I would guess this is one of the places. So if it's a shotgun death, we're not gonna update it straight away. We're gonna update it when he goes to the chainsaws, right? So this is gonna be, I would say up here, or maybe no, down here is better. So killer collection dot update kills text. And okay, so this is also not thrown by GMO. Yeah, give me a second. I think that is this actually the way where we check the specific thing? Okay, so then we have the GMO, and then we have probably GMO blood thrown by GMO. I think it should be where the blood is, I think. So let's do that here. Killer collection dot update kills text. Okay, let's run the game for the first time this lecture, and let's see what is actually going on. We've added quite a few things, and hopefully it's gonna work from the first time, although this pretty much never happens ever. But let's see. So I hit play, kills, function to string, something broke really badly. Cannot read property RNG butch low of undefined in game.ts. I didn't define the difficulty. Oh yeah, it didn't refresh, I think. Current difficulty equals this difficulty is of 0. No, I think that is fine. Let me refresh it and let's check what's going on. Although I didn't see things that I wanted to see, so let's have a look. Function to string. Let's have a look at the error at least. At least it doesn't glow white, which is better. Still can't read property RNG butch of undefined. And the weird thing is that it's let me refresh again actually so that we can see where the error is. Play. Let's have a look. So game.ts this.current difficulty.rng butch low, and it says that this is not defined. Alright, so let's first try and fix the kills thing. So let's go into the killer collection. Am I saying, well, I'm saying that this is 0, which is quite strange that it doesn't work. This.score.toString. I missed a bracket up here, yes. Alright, so this hopefully is fixed. Now let's go into difficulty and see what's going on. So here we go to RNG chest high, RNG chest low, RNG chest high, butch low, butch high, butch speed. So let's go into the spawn butchers. Current difficulty dot RNG butch low. Current difficulty RNG butch high times 1,000. You think it's from this?
Yeah, it's making a folder.
I'll try to refresh again and hope that it works. It did work with the same code in my... At least we have kill 0. Okay, let me try and fix this and then I'll get back. Right, so what happened in the code was that we were triggering the level inside create in order to straight away see our level 2, and in here inside trigger level we are doing a couple of things with the butchers that we don't have, or at least this is the way I explained it to myself, I think. And something like this happened, and I don't know. It works now. So let's have a look. We can shoot the guy, chest spawn, we pick up everything, and that's a problem here with the kills. That's only with the chainsaws though, so we will probably have to fix that as well. So let me check if throwing this doesn't count as a kill, which we should fix as well. It did this time. Alright, then we have the GMO. Let's check if the GMO works. This one works, so we just need to fix the shotgun, which kind of weirdly gives a lot of currently gives, you know, a lot of kills. So let's try and fix that. So let's go into the butcher and let's see where we killer collection dot how was that? Update something. Update kills text. So butcher item collisions, it's not gonna be here, it will be in here. this dot state dot animations play. I am just gonna move it here and hope that it's gonna work. For some reason I think that that's the correct place for it to be. So I'll have to refresh a couple of times again. Hopefully this is gonna work now. And there we go. So he's alive, he gets in, he gets chainsawed. This one with the knife didn't die, and he died now, which is kind of weird. Maybe I should check that as well. Do we get? Actually, I'm not paying attention to the chests that are spawning. Let's see if they increase our. Did it? I think it did. 56. So it was 53 and now it's 56. So this thing works as well. And we changed the level as soon as the butcher died. We can also GMO kill him. Decided now 8. So yeah, I think it pretty much works. There are a couple of kinks in it, like some small bugs to fix, but I think it works fine. So let's have a, and the cow is dead again. So let's have a break, and after that we will, yeah, let me close that. The bird is still flying. So yeah, after the break we will create the game over state, also with with the two layouts that I've shown before, and we're gonna finish then. Alright, so let's keep going. What remains to be done is make the game over state and just game over related stuff. And then since the platforms are the hardest, we'll make those in another lecture. Right, so we already have something like a game over, so it's kept in the killer collection class. And yeah, so if it's not game over, we update everything. We spawn chests, butchers, pick up items, and so on. Update difficulties as well. And then we have the else, and inside this else, we will handle pretty much just the animation of the cow head that moves around and collides and so on. And then we'll have a separate method in here, which is going to be game over, which is just going to change the states. It's going to be relatively simple and quickly written, but yeah. So let's just have a quick look at here and see what is it that we can do in this else. So what is it that we want to update in the else? Well, it's going to be just the cow head, but if you remember from last time, as soon as the cow dies, the head goes weirdly to the right. So let's change that and add something simple to fix that. This dot cow head dot body dot velocity dot x equals 0, and I'll add that same thing to the bottom because we need to check both for the first image and the second image, so those two methods should be the same, and this is actually body, not boy. Right, and okay, and then in outside of this else, I would like to start the game over method, which is the thing that we'll be adding now. So, but first, let's have a look at the change that we've just made. So notice how the cow head goes around here. Let's have a look whether we fix that. Okay, we have a butcher, he kills the cow, and as soon as it falls, it stops on the ground, which is fine. Okay, then inside another if, which is now separate from the if and the else here. So this if is for when the game is running. This else is when the game is over. We need to handle the cow, and then to change the state and do some other simple operations, we need to just say if this dot killer collection dot game over, and this dot cow dot current state is not cow states dot dead. Do I have dead? No, I don't. That's weird. I should add it here. So I'll explain you in a second why we do that. So inside the cow here, we would like to add a state which is dead. Alright, so where are we inside game.js? Cow states.dead. Alright, so why do we have this specific if? So the only thing that needs to be done here is this dot game over. But why do I call this in this specific way? So notice that the game over just handles whether the game is over, whether we should change the state. But if I only have this condition here, that's going to be kind of a problem, because I'm going to execute this method many times. So as soon as game over becomes true, and this is the only thing that I have, this method is going to execute 60 times a second. And by adding this, I am going to make sure that it's going to be evaluated exactly once, because we don't change the state of the cow to this specific state, or at least not yet. And inside the method, which is going to be game over, the first thing that we have to do is say this dot cow dot current state equals cow states dot dead. All right, is it clear why we do that? So that it's executed only once. All right, and cow. All right, and then I don't think I've shown you local storage before. I haven't, right? So what we want to do is have a game over screen. I don't have actually I do have some screenshots of it, so I'll just use that. Okay, so this is the main image. Down here we would like to say how many kills we have and what's the best score that we have. And up here maybe add button play and button quit, which are going to be pretty much the same as the ones that we've already done. To keep track of our best score, the idea is to use local storage. So we are going to keep that. We are going to keep just this value in the local storage, either of the browser or the phone and so on. And we are going to use that to compare whether our current kills that we've had from our current game are bigger than the best score. If not, we are just gonna rewrite it, and that's how this is gonna work. And I have another one which is with burgers, which is gonna be pretty much the same one. All right, to do that, we need to use a couple of things. The first one is I would have to be able to transfer information from the game state to the game over state, right? Which is gonna be done. I'll show you in a second. And secondly, we have to use local storage. All right, so let's do that. So get in here, and I am gonna say var maximum score equals local storage dot get item, and let's call this item max score. All right, so what is going to be done here is try to get this item called max score, and if it's not there, if it's empty or we've run the game for the first time, we are just gonna have null for the maximum score, and we want to handle that as well. So we want to say if maximum score is null, then we want to say local storage dot set item, and in here we have to give the key. So this max score is like just the key of the item that we want to have. Max score, and then the value that we want to keep inside, and this is going to be this dot killer collection dot score dot toString. So the local storage, I think, just keeps a JSON object, which is just a string, you know, and we are only allowed to use strings, but that's not a problem, I think. Right, and then we want to say maximum score equals this dot killer collection dot score dot toString. All right, so if we don't have any value, then we want to set it inside the local storage, and then we want to, you know, give it a value if we don't have one. If we have one, it's going to be handled in the else statement. So else, what is it that we want to check? We want to check if the score that we have now is bigger than the maximum score. If that is true, then they want to just switch them around. So let's do that. If parse int of maximum score is less than or equal to this dot killer collection dot score, then what is it that we want to do? We want to say maximum score equals this dot killer collection dot score dot toString, and then we want to have this as well. Do I have an error? Parse int, yes, so this bracket should be there, and I should delete one of the last ones. Hopefully now is it gonna work? Yep, okay. So yeah, if our maximum score is lower than the score that we currently have, we just change the value and set the maximum score inside the local storage. Okay, so after that, what is it that we want to do? So we've handled the score and so on. I decided to have some blood as well at the end. So we are gonna have this dot killer collection dot blood emitter dot start, this dot cow dot states dot position dot x, this dot cow dot states dot position dot y minus 200, true, lifespan of 2000, and we have 30 blood. Okay, and then we want to change the state maybe after a couple of seconds, because this method is going to be called, you know, straight away after, you know, the cow is dead, and we want to have an event which just says after this dot game dot time dot events dot add, after say 3 seconds we want to change the state, so it is going to be this dot game dot state dot start, and normally we would just say game over, but in here there are a couple of other things that we need to pay attention to. So we have boolean clear world, boolean clear cache, and more importantly we have any args here, and this way we can transfer information from this state to the other state via this thing at the end, where we can add as many additional values as we want. So this is going to be game over, and then we want to say clear world true, clear cache true, I think, or I actually have them both to be false, because otherwise the ones that we've preloaded I think are not gonna be found, but I'm not sure. Anyways, you can just check in with those values here, and then after that there are a couple of things that we need to transfer. So what I would like to do is just say this dot killer collection dot score and maximum score. All right, which is gonna make sure that we transfer the values from this state to the other without problems. Okay, is there anything that I'm missing here? I think that is fine. Let's create our state. So it's going to be in here, new TypeScript file, game over. And let me zoom in. Let me copy a couple of things from here. Actually, just the first one. So game over. And then module, cow versus butcher. Export class game over extends phaser.state. Alright, a couple of things that we are going to need here. We are going to need score, number, max score, string. Okay, in order to get the values that we've transferred from the one state to from the game state to this one, what we need to do is via the method called init. So init from initialize, and inside here we have to give names of the values that we expect to receive. So the first one was score number, and the second one was max score string. All right. And simply we want to say this dot score equals score, this dot max score equals max score, and inside create we should expect to already have these values. So instead of doing anything, let's just try and say this dot score dot log and this dot max score dot log, and see what happens. First I need to add it here, so it's gonna be maybe down there, game over .js, and I think there was something else that I had to do, maybe here, this .game .state .add game over false. And do I need to have a reference to this class? Yeah, I guess so. Alright, let's have a look whether everything is fine. Let me close those things off. Okay, hit play. We're gonna kill a butcher. We didn't, oh yeah, we get it now. So then kill him with a knife, and now let's leave the cow to die to see if we are changing states correctly. So a couple of seconds pass, the cow head falls, and we should expect the game state to be changed and to have these two values. Okay, so we have 2 here, which was the score, and we have the 2 here, which is the maximum score. Okay, if I hit refresh, and let's try and die on the first hit, I think. Or let's try to make, did I press quit? No, I didn't. So let's kill this guy and let's die on purpose, to see if we've transferred the values correctly. Hit. Okay, since we're not drawing anything, you're not gonna see any change. But yeah, you see here that this is the score. I don't know, I didn't zoom in, but I hope you see it. So this is the one for the score, and this is the 2 for the maximum score. This is really useful, and it took me a bit to understand how to transfer values in between states. But it turns out that it's quite easy. Just use this method in it. All right, then a couple of things that we have to do here, and it's not that complicated. We just need to choose which one of these two we want to play. It's either game over 1 or 2 as our background, and then we want to add a bit of text for the kills, for the for the best score, and then two buttons which are play and quit. So it's pretty much that. All right, so let's start. Var random background index equals just a second, let me find it. This is not that easy. So mat.floor RNG 0 to 2 plus 1. Okay, so what is this gonna do? It's gonna give me a value either 0 or 1, this mat.floor, and we want to add 1, so it's either 1 or 2, because in here, if you see the name of the game over images, it's either 1 or 2. So this pretty much gives me a random number, either 1 or 2. It's a weird line that does that. Okay, and then we want to say after that we want to do this dot game dot add dot image 0 0 game over plus this dot game over random background. Actually, I don't have this, so just random background index. Let me check if I've preloaded those. Inside here I have the chest, I have the buttons, the particles, level 1, level 2, we have the menu. Let's do it now then. So game over, and let me see what that is. So that's, let me just copy this line. Okay, so this .game.add image is going to be called game over 1, and it's going to be inside graphics, game over, and the image is called game over 1. Control D, game over 2, game over 2. Actually, I didn't zoom in. I hope you can see that. Game over 2. And now inside the game over state, in here, we just say, well, it's game over. We know that, and then plus the random number for different screens on the game over. Okay, let's see what is happening here. Let me just press F5 again and get our cow killed at least 4 or 5 times to check if everything is working fine. So the butcher should kill the cow now. Maybe it didn't refresh, but I don't know. So yeah, okay, it's fine. So this was the first one with the steaks and the sausages. Let's check if we can get the other one as well with the burgers. Yeah, we got it. That was lucky. Otherwise, I would have to kill it again. But we could have very easily checked whether this thing works. I can just copy it over to the console here, and we can just play it a couple of times inside here. Okay, this is 2, this is 2, this is 1, 2, 2, many 2s. But you know, it alternates between the one or the other, I think, quite often. So yeah, it's either 1 or 2. All right, so let's add buttons. So var play button equals this.game.add.button, this.game.width times 0.76, this.game.height times 0.01. Then we want to have play button as our image, and then this dot start game. The context is this. Okay, so the start game is going to be a relatively very simple method. Here we are just going to say this dot game dot state dot start game. Yeah, I think that's that. Then we wanna, what is it that we wanna do after that? Play button dot scale dot set 0.7. So make it slightly smaller than the one we had in our menu. And I'm gonna do the next one real quick. So quick button equals this dot game dot add dot button this dot game dot width times 0.76 this dot game dot height times 0.15 quit button this dot exit game comma this, and exit game is again a single line method. Exit game this dot game dot destroy. And what else? I want to say quit button dot scale dot set 0.7. And let's have a look at what we have. So the idea is to place them. One of them is going to be up here. The other one is going to be below it. I think that was a nice place for the play and the quit. If you want to change them later, we will do that as well. Okay, so hit play. Hopefully everything's refreshed, and as soon as our cow dies, which is now, we will be able to see the play and the quit button up here. Do you like where I've placed them? I think it's all right. Okay, so then what is it that we want to do? We want to add our text, which is slightly more writing, but let's do it anyway. So kill style equals. Actually, can I just copy it from here? Let me go to killer collection. And I'm just going to copy all of that, and I'm going to change a couple of values because I don't want to write this thing twice. It's not fun. So let me paste it here. The fill is the same. The position is 25 this.game.height times 0.7. And we say kills plus this.score to string. Kill style, this is the same. Actually, let me actually no. So with the mouse holding the alt, I can delete all of that. Var kills text, I guess, and I should remove the this here as well. Okay, so all of that I think is the same. Killer group dot add text, we don't need that since this state only has just two text and two buttons. There is no need for groups. And I'll copy that once again. And everywhere where we see kills, we should change that to best score text is gonna be fine. This is gonna be best score style. This is gonna be best score style. And let's change a couple of values. So this is gonna be, I think that was again 25. This dot game height times 0.85. And this is gonna say best. And we are gonna take this dot max score. We don't need to say to string because it's already just a string. Best score style, and everything else is pretty much the same. Alright, so let's hit F5 and let's see whether everything is fine with our dead cow. Okay, we change the state. Kill 0, best 2, which is weird. Did we kill 2 butchers? No. We killed it, yeah, a couple of times ago, but it was not displayed here. So this is why we see it now. If we hit play, we start playing again. Let's kill more. Let's kill, say, 5. So grenade, and I like the knife, so that'll be next. So hit him with a knife. I know it's laggy, but if I throw a couple of knives and a couple of grenades, it's gonna be better. And I'm also recording now, so I think 5 is enough. Let's have a look whether we are gonna be dying now. So bam, and let's see the kills, or the best is now 5, and it's all fine. Okay, if we hit quit, just the whole HTML element is deleted. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Okay, I think that is all for today. Let me pause and ask if there are any questions or suggestions right now on something that we haven't done, or something like that. So yeah. Right, so there was a comment about my weird calculation inside game over, and I was sure that there is an easier way. So between 1 and 3 should be fine. Let me copy that over to the console here, and RNG is not defined. What? Ah, yeah. I have to do it inside here. So, okay, 1, 1, 2. Yeah, all right, fine. I accept. Yeah, I know this was weird, and I don't know for what reason I was just doing it in a weird way. Yeah, I'll get back to the video if there are any more questions. Alright, so that was it. We were discussing a couple of things about why is there lag between the changing the states, like that one now, like when you hit play, and how to avoid that. And there are a couple of things that you can try. So one of them is with caching the images or creating your levels beforehand. Another thing that you can try is the state transition plugin, which we use in one of our games. So if you see, it looks pretty slick, works very easily. Notice that this game, is again very simple, and I don't know even if without it there would be a lag, but I know for sure that this is a nice plugin to have. It's very easy to use, and you can feel free to get it from somewhere. I'm sure that there is a page for that that you can download it and put it in your project. But yeah, so that was it. Next time we'll be doing the platforms, and yeah, those will take, I think, a bit more time, and I don't know if we'll be able to finish it in one lecture, but I certainly hope so. Depending on how hard they are to make, I don't know yet. So yeah, I'll see you on Thursday.